especially manifest in the activities of the devotees. And this incredible energy to make temples all over the world, to spread the holy name and books. Book distribution is also increasing now very much in the last few years. Last year was the biggest year since 1995 for worldwide book distribution. The American BBT normally was selling about 50,000 Bhagavad Gitas. Last year it was 250,000. People in America are asking for Bhagavad Gita, young people. Oh yeah, I'm looking for this. You can look on the Facebook, my god sister, Mohanasini. Every weekend she distributes like 160 or 70 Bhagavad Gitas, 200 in 3 days, plus a lot of other books. And she takes pictures of these people, and they're from all over America, some place you never heard of, Oh yeah, I love this, I'm into meditation, yeah, this will be great, I remember this from college, I've been looking for it, so many people like that. So, we've done something, and now we have to all really work at it to catch them. Everybody can preach, it's not like you have to have a position, everybody's meant to preach. One-on-one preaching is the most wonderful thing. Everyone can do that. Find somebody, wants to hear about Krishna, tell them something, one way or another, and that way, just keeps spreading. And we are taking over the world, but we're kind of not aware of it because the world has gone. Kali is in anxiety. He's been in anxiety even since before Lord Chaitanya's appearance, that the Sankirtan movement is going to really disrupt his work. So he's been making plans, and we can see the last 10, 15 years especially, how his agents have manifested so much energy in spreading illicit sex and gambling, casinos everywhere. And all these things are increasing like anything because he's worried that the Sankirtan movement is pushing Kali back. There's so many places where he can't function. Any home where there's devotees and then Kali can't function. So he's really working hard. So we need to work just as hard, more hard, but it's not hard work like, pa, ba, ma, fa, all that. It's ecstatic exercise, chanting the holy name. That's not hard work. Somebody might think it is, but the longer we chant, the easier it becomes. So thank you all for taking the time to come to class. Prabhupada was very concerned we all come to Srimad Bhagavatam class. One more story. In LA, he was there a long time, and when he first came, the temple was overflowing. Gradually it was down to the regulars. Anyway, when he was leaving, Prabhupada he wanted to be very early to the airport. And it was morning, and Karandar was telling him, Prabhupada, he said, no, I have to go for class. So he went. I remember he came in, and he just said, I'm leaving now for Hawaii. I'll be back in a few days, he said. And then he said, I want everyone to attend the Srimad Bhagavatam class. Who will be giving class when I'm gone, he said. I said, okay. And he left. That was it, just a couple minutes. He didn't come back in a few days. He went to Japan, he went to India, and devotees wrote him and said, Prabhupada, you said you'd be back in a few days. It's been a few months. He said, you don't know the day of Brahma. He had a different way of looking at things than us. He saw Krishna everywhere. So he could see Krishna in all of our hearts, like we heard Surabhi so nicely saying yesterday, and utilize everybody's whatever ability they had, whether they were crazy or whatever it was. Prabhupada found a way to utilize it in spreading the Krishna consciousness and building temples and collecting money or distributing books or whatever it was. Whoever he met, he found, you can do this for Krishna right away. Do it. Just do it. So just do it, please, everybody. One devotee told me, we are praying that the Prabhupada disciples will live 150 years. I said, that's a little impractical, I think. Thank you for your well wishes, but better that you take it up, right? That's how we live on, that people are happy to have children, grandchildren, because they feel like they're living on. So like Surabi is really very wonderful yesterday, how he was speaking, how the young devotees are, you have a much better platform, many of you, to work from, but don't take it for granted, this life. We were pulled out of the sewage and different hellish conditions and can really appreciate, because we didn't have such good fortune, high birth, but it's always special mercy. Prabhupada, how even his life was so nice and whole life as a Vaishnava, but he said, my spiritual master saved me. Because he gave him direct engagement in serving the Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya. So we all have that opportunity, so just take it. We see more and more taking it all around here, so many people selling books. And it's very, very enlivening for the old guys. We're not going to be with you in this body very much longer. Even if it is long, like we live to be 90 or something, it's not very long, right? Compared to the whole Kali Yuga, or the 10,000 years at least of Lord Chaitanya's golden age. All right, so any comments or questions from all the Shankarshan Prabhu? One of the biggest preachers in the world. He has his web page. What is it? The Ultimate Self-Realization Course?
16,000.
How many now?
16,000 subscribers.
16,000 subscribers. He's making devotees. It's from all over the world. It's very mystical, but it's all because of his desire. There's no other way it could happen.
Maharaj, my question is this. How can we increase our taking over the world consciousness?
Just talk about it. Right? Look around and see what's happening, it's, yeah.
Prabhupada was asked about that, about how we're going to take over the world. And he said that it would happen. It would be like, be in charge of governments, it would be like presidents and prime ministers. And how are you going to do that? He said, well, you ask first a question. You believe Krishna is God? No? Kill him! And so, he said, no, we don't do that. We do it with words and Sankirtan. But on the roof of the skyscraper in New York, Rameshwar asked a question. What is your plan to take over the world? He thought for a moment, looked at everybody, sitting there. Were you there? In any case, he said, I can't tell you. He didn't reveal it. He says it will happen, but it's not this moment. Time will show. Actually, you'll see the way.
He told Nanda Kumar, you will see it in your lifetime.
He said, Rameshwar, you'll be president. And there's no God ever done. No, who's the other one? Supposed to be president of America.
Yeah.
But then he said, Rameshwar, you could be president.
Prabhupada didn't want to be president. He said, I should all be the guru. But the plan is simple, Hari Nama, Hari Nama, Hari Nama Eva Kevalam. Kalu Nasteva, Nasteva, Nasteva. Gatiranyata. That'll solve all the problems, nothing else. But we have to do many, many things that Prabhupada told us. Especially we're becoming more and more aware about agriculture, cow protection, and so how is it that India, with all its corruption and #1 in the world in beef exportation and leather, and gets a prime minister who's trying to make it illegal to kill cows, right? Because there's so many devotees in India. The ISKCON is so huge in India. There's so many people out. You go any city in India and you'll just, I was in a traffic jam in Bombay and just almost at the temple, and there's one beggar lady, and then I looked, I saw this like effulgence practically, and there was a devotee with a pile of Bhagavad Gitas, They're all over the place, and they're just giving out. And people are reading them. The temples, the Pune temple, they have so many requests from schools and businesses for devotees to come and preach and teach them, well, ultimately Krishna consciousness, but just basic, morality and stuff, that they don't have enough preachers to cover the requests. And they have 160 brahmacharis in the ashram. So they invite the teachers and the officers of these companies on Friday and Saturday night, and they get like 1,000 or 1,500 people come for special training to go and teach their constituents, It's really amazing things that are happening, And Bombay Temple, Juhu, I was there in 1978, and there wasn't much around there, but there was a Chandan cinema, and just a little bit behind the temple. And that was very big queue every night. But hardly anyone came to the temple, even though the temple was open and the deities were there and everything. Very few people were coming to the temple, but the Chandan cinema had a huge queue. But now, 10,000 a day come to the temple. And the Chandan cinema, of course, it's overshadowed by another multiplex cinema, so they don't have anybody waiting in line there. 50,000 come on Saturday, and 100,000 people come on Sunday. The restaurant seats over 700 people, and there's always people waiting on the weekend to get in. And Prabhupada, that's his vision, because he had the vision of that property before he ever went to America. That would be a good place for a temple. And the devotees thought he's crazy. The lawyer told him, you'll never get that land, and even if you get it, nobody will come. It's too far away from everything. It's just a stupid idea. And they signed it off. Prabhupada got it back. But now we see. Now Juhu is a...
I asked Krishna Maharaj what was the most serious mistake he made, and what was the point where Prabhupada was most angry upon him. He says it was all about the land in Bombay. When he signed off, Prabhupada was furious, and so he fought in every way to conquer that. And after the battle was over, that was a good fight.
Yeah, well, he took it very seriously and tried really hard to do whatever Prabhupada said after that, and worked to get it back. It was a huge thing, but Prabhupada told the lawyers, what to do, step by step, and they got it back. And the whole story is just so amazing. But, there's so many things like that. But now, the Chopati temple is near the, the Gita or something? There's a thing there, and Prabhupada spoke at that place, and when he came out, he looked down the road and said, there should be a temple there. And there was nothing there at the time either. There's a big Shiva temple across the street, and now that's where the Chopati temple ended up.
Another point, when Prabhupada was here visiting in the very early days, he used to sit under this tree, before there was anything. And someone told us there was nobody who was this, where he has to sit under that tree. And he had the vision already way back. This tree used to have cobra sitting on, not that tree, but the one before. And people used to come here, and this is an open field, and it was just a place to get away from the world. But Prabhupada had that vision then.
Wow. He never talked about it. And the land just manifested. We heard that, anybody who was here the last few days, they heard all these things, how the land manifested. So, inconceivable. But we saw it. Prabhupada is inconceivable. But he definitely, he was not disturbed by anybody's, modes of nature that they happened to be coming from, or, he just engaged anyone who met him, just immediately felt like, that's what, we hear all the devotees remembering their meeting with Prabhupada, everybody, what did they remember? That he's a great scholar, that he had 1 million, no, they say he was so loving.
His humor.
He was so kind. He loved me. And then they want to do anything. They loved him back. So Prabhupada said that. They're doing it out of love. They love me. I don't have any money. I'm not paying them. When Giriraj refused $1 million from his father, his intelligent father, he asked Prabhupada, what are you giving him? How can a young American boy, Jewish, refuse $1 million to live in this snake-infested, mosquito-infested place? Prabhupada said, I'm just giving him Krishna, that's all. I don't have anything else. So, we all have it. It's Krishna's here for everybody. All right? Thank you. And Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhu has been here from when?
38 years.
And he wakes the deities every day. He wakes the deities and does Mangalartik every day when he's here.
Prabhupada told me to stay here, so sometimes it does fulfill that one.
Yeah, and I was chanting Japa in the Samadhi this morning, and that diorama or whatever it is, Prabhupada walking, that is the best thing you ever did. It's really incredible.
I'm very famous. Everybody has a picture taken in front of it. Just follow Prabhupada's Buddha.
Yeah, it's
He's walking in that direction when making a circumambulation. That was set up. And the foot, that's in prominent spot. Prabhupada's his right foot. It's already gone down about an eighth of an inch.
Yeah.
People crying and touching, kissing. And so after maybe 100 years, we'll have to replace the foot.
So he leaves Vrindavan now sometimes because he's, working on all the dioramas and murtis in Mayapur for the temple, for the, all the parampara.
2 or 3 kilometers worth of dioramas that have to be built. It's a great outline to read Gopakumar's ascension from Earth to over Vrindavan. And the whole parampara is going through a change now to be cast in bronze. So I've relocated actually. I'll be there for 5 years. At least 5 years more to do the work.
Yeah, well, Vrindavan is not different. Mayapur is not different than Vrindavan. So you have, that's another Achincha. It's the same. Only Mayapur is better, but in my opinion, it's a lot easier to deal with than in many ways. Okay, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Harinam, Harinama, Harinami Kevalam. Shri Krishna Balaram ki jai. Shri Gaurnitai ki jai. Shri Radha Shyam Sundar ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotee. Hare Krishna.